Hey friends, welcome back to TalkMate English. I'm Adam, and today we're going to practice something super useful that can help you improve your English speaking skills every single day. We're going to talk about how to describe your day in English. This is one of the best ways to build fluency, expand your vocabulary, and become more confident when speaking. Whether you're talking to a friend, practicing for a conversation class, or just speaking to yourself in the mirror, being able to talk about your day smoothly in English is a great way to become a better speaker. So, make sure you stay with me until the end of this video, because we're not only going to explore how to talk about different parts of your day, but we'll also do some speaking practice together. Ready? Let's get started. Many people want to improve their English but don't know where to start. One of the easiest and most natural ways to practice speaking is to describe your daily routine. Think about it. You already know what you did today, so all you have to do is put those thoughts into English words. It doesn't need to be complicated. Even the simplest activities can help you learn new vocabulary and sentence structures. For example, how would you say what time you woke up today? Did you say, I woke up at 7 a.m.? Or, I got up early this morning? Both are correct, and both are great ways to start talking about your day. Let's walk through a typical day together. You can repeat after me, or just listen and imagine you're talking about your own day. In the morning, we usually start by waking up. You can say, I woke up at 7 a.m., but I stayed in bed for a few minutes because I was still sleepy. Or, you can say, I got out of bed right away because I didn't want to be late for work. Then you might go to the bathroom to wash your face and brush your teeth. Try saying something like, I brushed my teeth and took a quick shower to wake myself up. These small details help you practice useful vocabulary that you'll use every single day. After that, maybe you had breakfast. You could say, I made a cup of coffee and had some toast with butter. Or maybe, I had eggs and tea for breakfast. You can add more information if you want. For example, while I was eating, I watched the news on my phone. Try saying this out loud now. It's okay if it feels a little strange at first, but the more you do it, the more natural it will become. This kind of daily speaking practice is great for building fluency. Now let's try a quick exercise. I'm going to describe a part of my morning, and then I'll pause so you can try saying something similar about your own morning. Ready? This morning I got up at 6:30. I felt a little tired, but I had to get ready for work. I brushed my teeth, took a quick shower, and got dressed. Then I had a banana and a cup of coffee before leaving the house. Now it's your turn. Take a moment to think about your morning and try describing it out loud using simple English. Great. Let's keep going. After breakfast, most people get ready to go out. You might go to school, work, or somewhere else. You can say, I left the house at 8 o'clock and took the bus to the office. Or, I drove to work and listened to music in the car. These are great examples of common daily activities. If you work from home, you can say, I started work at 9 a.m. from my home office. Try practicing now. Think about how you usually get to work or school and describe it in 1 or 2 sentences in English. When you arrive at work or school, you can talk about your tasks. For example, at work, I answered some emails and had a meeting with my team. Or, I studied for a test and did some reading for class. You can keep it simple. The goal is to get comfortable speaking in English about what you actually do each day. If you don't work or study, you can talk about what you do at home. For example, I stayed home and cleaned the house. I also cooked lunch and watched a TV show. Let's practice again. I'll describe part of my work day, and then you can try to do the same. At work, I had a video meeting with my manager. Then I worked on a project for 2 hours. I also replied to some emails and helped a colleague solve a problem. Now it's your turn. Think about what you did during your workday or school day and try to describe it out loud in English. Good job. Now, let's move to the afternoon. Maybe you had lunch. You can say, I had lunch at 1 p.m., I ate rice and chicken, and I drank a glass of water. Or maybe, I went out for lunch with my coworkers and we talked about our weekend plans. Practicing these simple sentences will help you remember vocabulary and sentence patterns. Try saying a sentence now about what you had for lunch today. After lunch, you might go back to work or take a short break. You can say, I took a 15-minute walk outside to get some fresh air, or I watched a short video online before continuing my work. You can also talk about how you feel. For example, I felt sleepy after lunch, so I had another coffee. Or, I felt more energetic in the afternoon and finished all my work. Let's practice describing the afternoon together. Here's my example. After lunch, I cleaned up the kitchen and made another cup of coffee. I felt a little tired, but I had to finish a report for work. So, I sat at my desk and focused for another 2 hours. Now it's your turn. Think about your afternoon and try saying 2 or 3 sentences about what you did. Perfect. As the day moves on, we start to finish our work or school tasks. You might say, I finished work at 5 p.m. and felt really tired. Or, I had a lot to do, so I stayed late and finished at 7 p.m. You can also talk about your feelings. Maybe, I was happy to finish early, or I felt stressed because I had too much to do. Practice a few of these sentences now. What time? Did your workday end? How did you feel? In the evening, people often relax, spend time with family, or do things they enjoy. Talking about your evening in English is just as helpful as talking about your morning or afternoon. You can say, when I got home, I changed into comfortable clothes and relaxed for a while. Or, I watched a few episodes of my favorite TV show before starting dinner. These are great examples of daily English that native speakers use all the time. Try thinking about what you did yesterday evening and describe it out loud in English. Maybe you cooked dinner. You can say, I made pasta with vegetables for dinner. Or, I ordered food from a restaurant because I didn't feel like cooking. You can also describe who you ate with. For example, I had dinner with my family. Or, I ate alone while watching YouTube videos. Practice this now. What did you have for dinner last night? Say it out loud in a simple sentence. After dinner, many people like to unwind or prepare for the next day. You might say, I did the dishes and cleaned up the kitchen. Or, I prepared my clothes for tomorrow and made a to-do list. These small details help build a habit of speaking in English every day. You can also talk about your mood. For example, I felt relaxed and happy. Or, I was a little bored, so I read a book. Let's practice together again. I'll give an example, and then you try. After dinner, I washed the dishes and then sat on the couch to relax. I watched a short movie, checked my messages, and drank some tea. It was a peaceful evening. Now it's your turn. Think about your evening and describe it in 2 or 3 sentences. Before going to bed, you can talk about your night routine. You might say, I took a shower and brushed my teeth. Or, I read a few pages of a book before turning off the lights. These are good habits, and they also give you more chances to practice useful English expressions. Another example, is, I checked my phone one last time before sleeping, or I went to bed at around 11 p.m. Now you try. Say a few sentences about how you usually get ready for bed. Use simple English. For example, I put my phone on silent, turned off the lights, and lay down in bed. Go ahead and say it now. Let's do a full day practice now. I'll describe an entire day, and then you'll have a chance to do the same. Listen first. Today I woke up at 7 a.m. and got out of bed right away. I brushed my teeth, took a quick shower, and had some toast with peanut butter for breakfast. Then I left for work at 8 and took the bus. At the office, I had a few meetings and worked on a presentation. I had lunch at 1 p.m. with a coworker, and after lunch, I replied to emails and finished my tasks. I left the office at 5:30 and came home. In the evening, I made rice and vegetables for dinner, did the dishes, and then relaxed on the couch. I watched a TV show and went to bed at 11 after brushing my teeth and reading a little. It was a busy but good day. Now it's your turn. Think about your day, any day, and try to speak about it in English. Start from the morning and go through to bedtime. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just speak naturally and clearly. You can even pause this video and practice. This kind of exercise will help you become more fluent and confident. Now let's look at different ways to describe the same thing. This is useful because English has many expressions for similar actions. For example, instead of saying, I got up, you can say I woke up or I rose from bed. Instead of I went to work, you can say I headed to the office or I left for work. Try switching your vocabulary sometimes. This helps expand your speaking range. Try saying a sentence like, I headed out early because I had an important meeting. Or, I grabbed a quick breakfast before rushing out the door. Let's try a variety exercise now. I'll give you a basic sentence and then we'll try different ways to say it. The sentence is, I went to work at 9 a.m. You can also say, I started work at 9, or I began my shift at 9 in the morning. Another way is, I was at the office by 9. Repeat these versions out loud and see which ones you like best. It's good to be flexible with your English expressions. Next, let's focus on feelings. Describing your emotions during the day adds richness to your speaking. You can say, I felt tired in the morning, or I was excited about a meeting. In the afternoon, I got bored during a long task, or I felt satisfied when I completed everything. In the evening, I felt relaxed, or I was a bit lonely, so I called a friend. Try describing how you felt today at different times of the day. Use simple words like happy, sad, tired, relaxed, bored, or excited. Here's an example. In the morning, I felt sleepy. By lunchtime, I was feeling more focused. In the evening, I felt proud because I had a productive day. Try making your own sentences like that now. It doesn't have to be complicated. The more you talk about your feelings, the more natural your English will sound. Another helpful practice is to talk about things that didn't go as planned. For example, I was going to leave at 8, but I forgot my keys. Or, I planned to cook dinner, but I ordered food instead. These little changes help you learn how to use past tense and connecting words. Try this now. Think of something today that didn't go exactly as you planned. Say it in English. For example, I wanted to take a walk, but it started raining. UI. Can also talk about conversations you had during the day. This is great for practicing dialogue. For example, my coworker asked me how my weekend was and I told her it was relaxing. Or, I called my friend and we talked about our plans for the weekend. Try making your own sentence now about a conversation you had today. Sometimes, we don't realize how many small things happen during the day that we can talk about in English. Even little details can become good practice material. For example, maybe you forgot something at home. You can say, I left my phone on the table and didn't realize until I got to work. Or, I almost forgot my wallet, but I remembered just before leaving the house. These kinds of daily situations make your language feel real and personal. It helps to pay attention to small moments and then try to explain them in English. Let's do a quick reflection exercise. Think back to today or yesterday. Did something small happen that you usually wouldn't think to mention? Maybe you spilled your drink, lost your pen, or had to wait in line. Try describing it in English. For example, I was about to leave the house when I noticed my shoes were wet from the rain. Or, I stood in a long line at the grocery store and felt a bit annoyed. These are realistic, natural events, and talking about them helps you sound more fluent and expressive. Now, let's talk about how to describe your thoughts and plans throughout the day. A great way to extend your speaking ability is by saying what you were thinking or planning to do. For example, I planned to finish my work by 4 p.m., but I got distracted. Or, I was thinking about calling my friend, but then I got busy with chores. These kinds of sentences help you use more complex grammar while still keeping your message clear. Try this. Think about something you planned today. Now describe it in English. For example, I planned to take a walk in the evening, but it started to rain, so I stayed home. We can also describe our surroundings during the day. What did you see? What did you hear? For example, while walking to work, I saw a street musician playing the guitar. Or, there was a lot of traffic on the road, and I could hear horns everywhere. These small descriptions add more life to your English speaking. Let's try one together. Think of one thing you saw today. It could be anything. A person, a place, a situation. Now try describing it. For example, I saw a group of kids playing football in the park, and they looked so full of energy. Another great practice is talking about things that made you feel something. You can say, I felt happy when I finished my tasks early. Or, I was frustrated when the internet stopped working. Emotions connect your words to your real life, and they help others understand your day better. Here's a short example. When I got a message from my friend, I felt really glad. It made me smile. Try thinking of something today that made you feel happy, frustrated, surprised, or calm. Say it in 1 or 2 simple English sentences. Let's now shift to talking about habits. What are some things you do every day? These are great for daily English practice because habits often repeat, and that repetition helps reinforce vocabulary and structure. For example, I usually wake up at 7 a.m. and have coffee before checking my emails. Or, I always read a few pages of a book before bed. Use adverbs like usually, always, sometimes, or never to describe how often you do things. Try making 3 sentences about your daily habits now. You could say, I usually exercise in the evening, or I never skip breakfast. These are easy ways to build your English skills because they come from your real routine. When you talk about your habits in English, you're training yourself to speak smoothly and clearly about things you know very well. Now let's take it one step further and imagine you're telling someone about your day in a conversation. This kind of storytelling is excellent practice. Imagine your friend asks, How was your day? How would you respond? You might say, "It was pretty good. I had a busy morning with work, but I managed to finish everything on time. In the afternoon, I took a short walk to clear my head. This evening, I made dinner and watched a show. Now I'm feeling relaxed." Practicing this kind of short summary helps you feel ready for real conversations. Let's do that together. I'll say a question, and you try answering it in your own words. So what did you do today? Pause and think. Then answer out loud, even if it's just a few sentences. Try to include something about the morning, afternoon, and evening. You can say, "This morning I did some cleaning, then I went to the store in the afternoon. In the evening I watched a movie." Simple, clear, and great for practice. Another situation you can prepare for is small talk. Small talk is when you have short, casual conversations with people, maybe a coworker, a neighbor, or a friend. These conversations often start with a question like, "How's your day going?" You could reply, "It's going well, thanks. Just working on a few things." Or if your day isn't going great, you might say, "It's been a bit stressful, but I'm managing." Being able to answer these questions naturally makes you feel more confident. Now let's practice that together. Imagine someone asks you, "How was your weekend?" Try responding now in a few short sentences. Maybe, "It was relaxing. I spent time with my family and went for a walk in the park." Or, "It was busy. I had to run errands and clean the house." These are very common answers, and practicing them helps you get used to speaking without overthinking. You can also talk about your plans for the rest of the day. This is another way to connect with people and keep a conversation going. You could say, "After this, I'm going to cook dinner," or "Later tonight, I plan to watch a movie." You might say, "I still have some work to finish before I sleep." Try saying something now about what you'll do next. Speak it aloud. "After this video, I'm going to..." and finish the sentence with your own plan. Describing future actions is just as useful as describing past ones. Use phrases like "I'm going to," "I plan to," or "I hope to." For example, "Tomorrow I'm going to visit my grandmother," or "Next week I plan to start exercising more regularly." These phrases help you talk not just about your day-to-day, but also about what's coming. Let's do a short practice. Think about tomorrow. What's one thing you plan to do? Say it out loud in a simple sentence. "Tomorrow, I'm going to..." Finally, remember that you don't need to be perfect to make progress. The key is to practice every day, even just for 5 minutes. The more you describe your day in English, the more fluent and confident you'll become. You can do this while walking, while doing chores, or even while brushing your teeth. Just start thinking and speaking in English about what you're doing, or what you've done. Let's do another full-day storytelling exercise together. This time, I'll guide you through each part, and you'll have a chance to speak after each paragraph. Remember, don't worry about being perfect. The goal is to speak naturally and build fluency step by step. Let's begin. Imagine this is your day. I woke up a little later than usual today. It was already 8:30 when I opened my eyes. I was still feeling sleepy, so I stayed in bed for a few minutes, scrolling through my phone. After a while, I got up and went to the bathroom to freshen up. I brushed my teeth, washed my face, and took a quick shower to help wake myself up. Now it's your turn. Think about how your morning started and describe it in your own words. Say it out loud and include a few small details. Next, let's move to breakfast time. Here's an example. I made a cup of hot tea and had some toast with butter and jam. I sat by the window while eating and checked my emails on my phone. It was a quiet and peaceful morning. After breakfast, I cleaned up the kitchen and got dressed for the day. Now you try. What did you have for breakfast today? Where did you eat? Were you alone or with someone? Let's continue with the middle of the day. You can say, I had some work to do, so I turned on my computer and started checking messages. I had a few online meetings in the morning, and then I worked on a document that needed to be finished. Around 1 p.m., I took a short break and made lunch. Now think about your afternoon. Try saying a few sentences out loud about what you did around that time. If you didn't work, you can talk about any chores, errands, or even relaxing. Let's describe lunch now. For lunch, I made a chicken sandwich and a salad. I ate at the dining table while listening to a podcast. It helped me relax and take my mind off work. After lunch, I went for a short walk outside to get some fresh air. The weather was sunny, and the breeze felt nice. Now it's your turn. What did you eat? Did you go outside? Did you do anything to relax after eating? Now, let's talk about the late afternoon. I got back to work around 3 p.m. and finished up some tasks. I had to make a few phone calls and send some emails. The rest of the afternoon went by quickly. By the time I looked at the clock, it was already 5:30. You try now. Talk about what you did in the late afternoon. Think about what time you stopped working or studying. Did you feel productive, tired, or motivated? In the evening, it's time to unwind. Here's an example. After finishing work, I took some time to rest. I sat on the couch and watched a funny video online. Then I made dinner. Just something simple. I cooked rice with vegetables and added some sauce for flavor. It wasn't anything fancy, but it was tasty and satisfying. Try talking about your evening. What did you eat? Did you cook or order food? What did you do after dinner? Let's move toward the night routine. You can say, later in the evening, I cleaned up the kitchen, took a shower, and changed into my pajamas. I spent some time reading before going to bed. I like to end my day with something calm. Around 10:30, I turned off the lights and tried to fall asleep. Now think about your nighttime habits and describe them in English. What do you usually do before sleeping? Well done. Now let's practice something a little different. Let's imagine you're giving a voice message to a friend in English, telling them about your day. You don't need to say everything, just give a simple summary. You might say, "Hey, today was a pretty normal day. I worked in the morning, had some meetings, and then made pasta for dinner. In the evening, I watched a movie, and now I'm getting ready for bed." Now it's your turn. Try to record yourself, or just say it out loud. Imagine you're leaving a short message for a friend. Keep it simple and natural. Another great way to practice talking about your day is to write a diary in English. But instead of writing, you can speak your diary out loud. At the end of each day, take 5 minutes and say, "Today I," and talk about everything that happened. For example, today I stayed home most of the day. I cleaned the kitchen, did some laundry, and watched a documentary. It wasn't a very exciting day, but I got a lot done. Try this every day for just a few minutes. You will start to notice big improvements in your speaking fluency. Now let's focus on asking and answering questions about your day. Imagine a friend asks you, "Did you have a good day?" You could say, "Yes, it was a productive day," or, "Not really, I felt tired most of the time." Another question might be, "What did you do today?" You could reply, I had some errands to run. Then I spent the afternoon working. Practicing both the questions and answers helps you prepare for real conversations. Try answering this question now. What was the best part of your day? Maybe you'll say, the best part was having lunch with my friend, or I really enjoyed taking a walk in the park. You can also practice speaking by imagining conversations with people you meet during the day. For example, someone might ask, "Did you get a lot done today?" You can answer, "Yes, I was very productive in the morning, but the afternoon was slow." Or maybe, "Not really, I was distracted and couldn't focus." Practice answering a few of these imaginary questions out loud. You can even ask yourself these questions and then respond. Let's go over a few more useful phrases you can use when talking about your day. Try repeating them after me. I didn't sleep well last night, so I was tired all morning. I had a lot on my plate today, but I managed to finish everything. The weather was nice, so I went out for a walk during lunch. I had a small argument with someone, which made my day a little stressful. I was in a good mood all day because I got some good news. Each of these phrases shows not just what you did, but how you felt. Try using a few of them in your own speaking. Pick one and build a small story around it. For example, the weather was nice, so I went for a walk. I listened to music and enjoyed the sunshine. It helped me feel more relaxed. The more often you speak about your day, the more your confidence will grow. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Just keep practicing and keep speaking. Use your phone, a mirror, or even speak to yourself while doing your tasks. Think in English. Say your routine out loud in English. For example, I'm making coffee, or I'm folding clothes. These small moments create strong speaking habits. As we reach the end of this video, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've practiced together. You've learned how to describe your morning, afternoon, and evening routines. You've practiced speaking about your emotions, your activities, your plans, and even your small daily challenges. All of these things are part of real, everyday English. And the best part is, you already know the content. You just need to practice talking about it in English. Your daily life becomes your learning material. To help everything sink in, let's do one final full-day speaking exercise together. I'll guide you through it step by step. First, I'll ask you questions, and you can pause and answer them in your own words. Don't write it down. Just speak it out loud. You don't have to be perfect. Just be natural. What time did you wake up today? What did you do right after getting out of bed? Try to describe it in detail. Now think about your breakfast. What did you eat or drink? Did you enjoy it? After breakfast, what was your next activity? Did you go to work, school, or stay at home? Try to describe your morning clearly. Now move to the afternoon. What did you have for lunch? Did you talk to anyone? Did you do something productive or relaxing? Describe it in 1 or 2 sentences. Then think about the evening. What did you eat for dinner? Did you do anything special after dinner? Maybe watch a show, talk to a friend, or go for a walk? And finally, what's your usual bedtime routine? Try to describe how you ended your day. Now, let's try summarizing the entire day in a few sentences, just like a short diary entry. For example, today was a normal day. I got up early, worked from home, and had a simple lunch. In the evening, I relaxed, watched a little TV, and now I'm getting ready for bed. Try making your own version. Keep it short and simple. Speak it slowly and clearly. This kind of summary is excellent daily practice. Before we end, I want to remind you that fluency doesn't come from memorizing difficult words or studying grammar books all day. It comes from using the language often, especially in speaking. When you describe your daily life in English, you are training your brain to think and speak in English. That's powerful. You're not just learning English, you're living it. Even if you only practice 5 minutes a day, it adds up. Try setting a routine. At the end of each day, take a few moments to speak out loud about what you did, how you felt, and what you plan to do tomorrow. You don't need anyone to listen. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to speak. Day by day, your confidence will grow, and soon, you'll find it easier to express yourself in real conversations. Let's end with a little challenge. Starting today, I want you to speak about your day in English every evening for 1 week. Just a few minutes each time. Talk about your morning, your lunch, your work or studies, and your evening. You can talk to yourself, record your voice, or even speak to a friend who's also learning English. You'll be amazed at how quickly your speaking improves. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. If you found this video helpful, make sure to come back to it and practice again. The more you repeat, the more natural your English will sound. And don't forget, every little effort you make counts. If you enjoyed this lesson and want to keep improving your English fluency, make sure you subscribe to TalkMate English and turn on notifications so you don't miss any new videos. I'm here to help you on your English learning journey. Let's keep practicing together one day at a time. Take care, keep speaking, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.